Okay, so I think I have the audio and the video working now. So, hooray. Well, hey guys, Coach Neil here, and I just wanted to take a few minutes for the next tonight and then for the next couple of days and go over some of the basic things as we start a brand new year on what it is that could be, what is weight loss, what's it all about, what could be some hindrances and some roadblocks, some speed bumps for that, and ways that you can be aware of that so that then you can take action towards that, and then we'll have some practical steps that you can take as like I said, as we start this brand new year, which I'm excited about. I've got some goals in place already before the new year came in, so pretty excited about that. Yeah, so we're going to create some metabolic momentum for you. That's the goal here. And yeah, so what we're going to talk most importantly is things that can create a lasting change. Today, what we're going to focus on some of the common causes of weight gain and weight loss resistance. Weight loss stalls sometimes. And the first step in creating change is being aware. It's awareness, because awareness will lead you to options. And by the end of today, hopefully you'll be able to recognize some areas where you might be sabotaging your progress a little bit. And so just to dive right in, the first one is going to be, drum roll please, a poor diet. Now I've heard a lot of people say you got to, to lose weight or lose fat, you need to eat less and move more. And that's been debunked for, years and years and years. That just doesn't work. I would also recommend read Dr. Jason Fung's book, The Obesity Code. And he dives into that. He does a deep dive into that. But a poor diet, a lot of times lately, you'll hear people say that, yeah, you don't make your abs in the gym, you make your abs in the kitchen. And that's quite true. It's about your diet. So we'll start with diet, probably the most obvious factor, but also one of the most misunderstood. Many people think that weight loss is about calories, and it's really about hormones, nutrient quality, and sustainable habits. Some people will say, well, calories is what matters, so I got to count my calories. Not all calories are created equal. Read Gary Taub's Good Calories, Bad Calories. That's just a measurement. It's the nutrients, it's the hormone signaling, it's the habits that you create around those. Think of it as information. I have some experience in the tech world. Think of it as code. The food that you bring in, it's got code, it's got information on it. And that information is what will inform the cells on what to do and how to use that information that you give it. Garbage in, garbage out. Ultra-processed carbohydrate, frankenfoods in, poor quality going out. So just remember, it's not about calories. The typical American diet, though, it's going to be high in calories, but it's also going to be high in ultra-processed foods. Added sugars, refined carbohydrates, they spike insulin repeatedly. And over time, this is going to lead to insulin resistance, which will make it very hard for you to lose fat. It's also called hyperinsulinemia, meaning too much insulin in your bloodstream. That's a little bit more clinical. A common term that you hear a lot is insulin resistance. That's not a diagnosis. That's just kind of jargon, practical jargon for hyperinsulinemia, too much insulin. And understand, losing weight, a lot of times people talk about losing weight, and what they really want, I don't think anyone would volunteer to lose muscle mass. I don't think anyone would volunteer to lose bone density. What we're really talking about is fat loss. We want to lose, the spare tire around the middle. We want to lose the bat wings. We want to lose some of that. And so that's going to be fat loss. And so what we want to do is it's feeding your body what it actually needs versus maybe what you think you need. We want to feed it protein. We want to give it healthy fats, even some high quality vegetables, which would be some high quality carbs. Unlike a lot of the ultra processed frankenfoods. So it's a matter of giving your body what it needs. And remember, it's like code. It's like information. that you want to feed your cells. You want to tell your cells what to do, how to function optimally. So just a quick question I'll pose out there is take a moment and ask yourself, what might be in your diet might be contributing to some weight loss resistance? Are you skipping meals? Are you late night snacking? Are you emotionally eating? Those are all some key factors that can also affect how your body handles these nutrients, how the hormones get out of whack. We need to put them back in whack. So ask yourself, what might be some things? Is it the food that I'm eating, what I'm eating? Is it when I'm eating? Is it when I'm not eating? Am I starving myself? Because I've always heard eat less, move more. And when you underfeed, then that's going to cause additional problems with your body not knowing what to do. So it goes into a survival mode where it says, okay, I don't know if I'm going to get my next meal. So I'm going to, whatever I get, I'm going to store it away. And you're going to actually increase your fat gain, which is the opposite of what we want. So here's what I think. Here's something you can do. Write down one habit in your diet that you could improve, even a small step. If it's eating dinner maybe a little earlier, if it's having a breakfast if you're hungry. If you're not hungry, maybe not having breakfast until later in the morning, until you're truly hungry. See, one thing people don't realize is they think I'll skip breakfast or I'll skip a meal. Well, you're underfeeding. If you run the risk of underfeeding if you do that. And that's like, the gas light comes on in your car and like, well, you know what? I'm going to keep going. I think I can make it. And then you start sputtering. Well, because you're underfueled, you're not going to make it. So what you want to do is listen to your body, and we'll get into some ways that you can better interpret the signals that your body gives you. But think of a habit, just one, to maybe help improve where your diet is concerned. So that's kind of step one of building your awareness is poor diet, poor quality of the food, and poor timing of the food. If you're eating late at night, a lot of people are prone to snacking. They do great during the day. Man, 7:30, 8 o'clock at night, and they're like scrounging through the cupboards looking for something to eat. Usually it's something sweet or some popcorn. And that's a habit that we can, it's a signal that you're getting that we can address, but it's also a habit that we can address as well. Second thing, so we got number one, poor diet. Second thing that is often, I don't want to say missed, but it's maybe not given as much attention as I would like to give it, is poor sleep. Sleep is vital to your metabolic health. And it's not just resting. It's not just I'm sitting around doing nothing. It's metabolic repair time is what's happening. And when you don't get enough sleep, your hormones get out of balance. I don't have it in front of me. I believe the statistic was somewhere between 60 and 70% of that hormone balancing and cleaning out and restoration, metabolic restoration happens while you're asleep. So it's a high percentage, more than 50. And you can check out Jason Fung. You can check out Dr. Ken Berry. You can check out Dr. Matthew Walker. He's a sleep expert, and he delves into a lot of this too about the metabolic healing. Mindy Pelz is another one. But allowing yourself to get enough sleep and planning for enough sleep because you understand the importance of it. Remember, we're building awareness. Here's some of the things that happen while you're resting is your ghrelin, your hunger hormones. They get balanced. Your leptin, the satiety hormone, when things are out of whack, your ghrelin's going to go up. You're going to get hungry. Your satiety, your leptin will go down, which means not only am I hungry, but I can't seem to get enough. Late night snacks, cakes, cookies, popcorn. Your cortisol is going to spike, which is going to increase your insulin, which is going to help you to pack on body fat. All of these things are what we don't want to happen. And that's a result of poor sleep. And poor sleep also affects your focus, your energy, cravings like we discussed. Even if your diet isn't perfect, even if your diet is perfect, a lack of sleep can sabotage all of that and can throw a monkey wrench into it. So think about your own sleep patterns. How many hours do you get of sleep? How many actual hours? Not what you plan to do. How many actual hours of quality sleep do you get? Are you consistent with your sleep habits? Do you have a sleep routine, a wind down in the evening, and then a sleep routine? Again, write this down. What's one thing you can do this week to improve your sleep? Is it set a consistent bedtime? Is it set a consistent wake up time? Is it the little things like the temperature of the room? Little things, maybe you need some white noise to help you go to sleep, or brown or pink noise. All of those things can be a factor in getting to sleep and then staying asleep. And I was talking with a guy earlier today. He says, "Oh, I take a little shot of wine or something every night because it helps me go to sleep." And while that's true, it may help you go to sleep. Your quality of sleep you'll only get so deep into sleep, because then your body's going to have to process that alcohol. And just a quick aside, alcohols are one of the top tier, the first go-to for your body to find energy. And so it's going to take those before it takes carbohydrates or fats or anything. It's going to go to those alcohols, which means your body's going to have to rev up again to metabolize those alcohol sugar alcohols. So it may help you fall asleep, but it's going to actually keep you not in a rested state. Your body's still going to be, it's like the tachometer in your engine is going to be revving way higher than it should. So, but think about the things that you can do. One thing this week, we're looking at diet. Now let's look at sleep. What's one habit you can we're not even asking to adjust it yet. Just address it. Hey, I think maybe I can work on my go to bed time or my wind down in the evening time. And just kind of think of that as maybe a goal that you can start to look at. All right, so we got diet, we got sleep. What's another thing that might be a hindrance to your fat loss process? And this one, it may seem obvious, but it's more nuanced than you might think. A sedentary lifestyle. If you sit in front of a computer all day, if you're in a car, or I know some people that drive over the road trucks, if you're not very active, if you're just a couch potato, you do stuff at work and you come home, you just sit on the couch, or just kind of lounge around, you're just not active. That's going to be something that can really affect your hormones, which will affect your fat loss. And movement's more than just burning calories. It's metabolic health, it's insulin sensitivity, it's your overall mood it affects. Again, it's very nuanced and there's multifaceted. So it's not just, I have to move more. It's more to it than that. Modern life encourages a lot of sitting around at work, in the car, on the couch. But even small changes can help to raise that level of activity, which will then help those hormones kind of stay engaged or re-engage. Small changes, just standing for a few minutes every hour, just get up. Some people will set a timer on their watch, on their phone. They just, hey, it's been 50 minutes. Go take a 10-minute break, walk around the office, go say hi to somebody, refill your coffee, whatever. Get up from your chair and go do something. Take a potty break. Do things like short little walks. Do some stretches. You can even do some resistance training and some little micro workouts. You say, well, that's be kind of weird in the office. At some point, everyone's got to go use the restroom more than once a day. And, you can, every time that you sit down on the pot, and then you can stand up and you do that 2 or 3 times. And guess what? You've done some little mini quarter squats, some air squats. You're upping your game just a little bit. You can, I know I do this quite often at work. I'll go up to the counter. I'll refill my coffee because I'm taking my little 10-minute break. And especially if I'm waiting for the coffee to finish brewing, it's a high top counter, and I'll do some angled push-ups against the counter. It's nothing huge, but you do that 3 or 4 times throughout the day, and it's going to add up. It's going to make a difference. Little things like working on your mobility and your flexibility, doing some arm circles or grabbing a towel, bringing it around. If you're able to do some either good mornings or squats, just actual, full squats or even half squats, just to keep your mobility moving. You realize another thing you can do is sitting at your desk, just raise your ankles, raise your heels off the ground. That'll work the soleus muscle, which will also help with blood flow. So there's little things that you can do to increase your activity and what they call NEAT, which is non-exercise activity thermogenesis, the using of energy. And when you keep it low, what I know Mark Sisson calls the fat max zone, which is take 180 minus your age. That's kind of your maximum heart rate. And if you stay below that threshold, you'll be in a fat burning state. As soon as you cross that threshold, your body's like, oh, we need to pay a little bit more attention. We need to go find some glucose now because we're doing more activity because our heart rate's elevated. But if you keep it in that here's the number again, 180 minus your age, that gives you the maximum, the fat max, to stay in that fat burning zone. So, for me, if I stay below like 138, then I know I'm burning fat, whether I'm walking, whether I'm doing a push-up, or whether I'm doing whatever. So that's called NEAT, N-E-A-T, non-exercise activity thermogenesis. So again, more little things. So again, we got diet. Write down one thing you can do to make yourself more aware about your diet. Your sleep. What's one thing you can do to help your sleep habits? Maybe just think of one thing you can focus on that you might want to look at improving. And we're going to look at your activity, not being so sedentary, just upping your activity a little bit. What are some things that you might be able to incorporate in your day-to-day? Air squats, doing little countertop or wall push-ups, things like that. Write that down, things that we can address. Here's one, the next one. This is a biggie with me. And I think it's something that gets not enough attention. And that is a negative attitude or a negative mindset. Stress, fear of change, self-sabotage, negative self-talk, they have real physical consequences. Higher cortisol, poor sleep, and an unhealthy eating choices. It's going to lead to all of that. A negative attitude. It could turn into, emotional eating your feelings, the cortisol spike because you're stressed out. You have maybe some issues coping with stress, or you're, like that tachometer, your stress level's always running high, which means your cortisol is always running high, which means your insulin's always running high, which creates that hyperinsulinemic state, insulin resistance, where fat loss is going to be extremely difficult. So we're going to, talk about some stress management, some coping strategies in the next couple of days. But you understand, these are physical consequences that are affected by mindset. And the other way around, your mindset will have physical consequences. And you can have a negative feedback loop. What we want to do is stop the negative feedback and start a positive feedback loop. Positive attitude towards, all of these things: your sleep, your activity, your food choices, your stress, how you mitigate stress. We make positive choices, then that's going to increase the your physical response in a good direction. Your cortisol will hopefully become lower, which means your insulin will be lower. You'll be more insulin sensitive, which means that your food choices are going to be more in line with fat loss. Your activity, you'll feel like doing more, and so you'll be able to then start the positive process. Sometimes, though, you're going so far and so fast one way. We gotta slow the train down first, and then once it's stopped, then we got to start going the other direction. So be aware, it's a process. Everyone starts a health journey at a different place. Everybody does. My health journey is going to be very different than anyone else's. That's, you know, PhD Synergy. Our thing is health coaching as unique as your fingerprint, and we mean that. No one's struggle is going to be the same, and no one's victories are going to be the same. But we all have victories, and we all have a path, and we can all learn from one another. So your mindset is going to shape your habits. Recognizing patterns of self-doubt or negativity is crucial for breaking free from weight loss resistance. Again, just we're heightening our awareness is what we're talking about tonight in these areas, these 4 areas: your food choices, your sleep, your activity, and your mindset. So here's the last one for your mindset. Write down one negative belief or habit that you've noticed about yourself. Just acknowledging it is the first step towards change. So if you say, I usually kind of, self-deprecate. I put myself down. I sell myself short. Maybe something like that. Or, I always fly off the handle. When stressful situations happen, find something. And I know we're not trying to focus on the negative, but we're trying to make ourselves aware of a negative habit that maybe we can change. So that's what we want to look at. So write down one thing that we can look at and we can address in food choice, sleep, activity, and mindset. And with those things, kind of let those stew, let those percolate a little bit, but write them down. Writing them down has a huge impact on what happens in your brain. See, I think personally that mindset's probably the key. It's the linchpin to not only fat loss and a health journey, but to really anything in life. But with the warning, the caveat that it's the one that takes the longest to change, to course correct, and to see the results. I know everyone wants 30 days to a new body or a new you in 90 days. And you can certainly get started, but that's going to come from, first and foremost, diet. You're going to see the simplest point of entry with your diet. That's why the synergy comes from putting a proper human diet first. PhD synergy. You get it. So you start with diet, ease of entry, because we can make food choices. They're very cut and dry, very clear. Sleep. Getting proper sleep and understanding what that does, that's going to be another key to help promote those food choices. Food choices, you can see, results within, a few days, a week. Sleep, you may see some positive change within a week or 2 or 3. The activity, that could take a month, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, maybe 8 weeks before you can start to see results. Mindset, that could take 6 months to a year to several years. Depends on the individual. But those are the things, and again, synergy, they all work together. It's like wherever you get on this merry-go-round is great, but once you're on, then you can start working on all of the others. And so that's what I think is, it works for me. It's worked for several clients that I've had. And so we want to make sure that we start with awareness in these 4 areas, these 4 pillars that we've got. And if you go to the PhDsynergy.com website, you'll see a place for a free download for an ebook on the 4 pillars. And we're going to, you can read through that. It's free to download. And over the next, 3 days, we're going to break those down and have some practical steps on what you can do. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about tonight. And I'm going to keep it open for just another couple of minutes for questions. And if there are some, if there are none, then that's great too. And then we'll just see you next time. So I'm going to turn my microphone off and give about 60 seconds for questions to start rolling in. Okay, someone sent me another message, but they're asking where can I get the book. I'm going to drop that in the chat. There you go, and you'll see down there where you can download it. And I had somebody else ask me where I just saw it. Oh, how long till they can start to see some results? And really, if that's going to vary, again, everyone's starting. If zero, you're in a clean slate. You're not positive. You're not negative. If you're at 0.0, then you can start to see some results. Again, it's always going to vary because everyone's unique. Everyone's an individual. Everyone's metabolism is different. Everyone's life situations, their environments, they're all going to be different. The sticky part, though, is people are never at 0.0 to start with. You might be a little ahead of the curve. Maybe you've been into the fitness world for a while, and maybe we need to address some of those other things. But you're already on a positive course. We just got to fill in a few spots there, a few of the gaps. A lot of times people are in the negative. They're in the drink. Maybe they've tried things in the past and gotten a little closer, but then it fell back and they gained some weight back. Or, I've talked to more people than I wish that had tried this program or that program, and it worked while they were buying the specially formulated food. But then when you stop buying their food, they never learned how to eat properly. They never learned how their body worked and how it processed this food and what that really means from a cellular level to a practical level. And because of that, they started to go backwards again, not only in gaining body fat back, but their metabolism got all off kilter again. And most importantly, here we go, their mindset, their confidence gets hit. You can only get hit so many times before it really starts to affect you. And what I want to do, what we want to do here is give you some tools to help you build your own confidence over time to not only get to ground zero, but to then start going in that positive direction. And you'll have the tools, you'll be equipped in those 4 pillars of diet, of sleep and rest, of activity and exercise. They're 2 different things, and with your mindset. And so our goal is to give you those. It's going to vary. Your mileage may vary is actually the answer to that. But I'm glad you asked. So anyway, with that, I think we're going to call it an evening for now. And I will be back tomorrow to talk about some more practical ways you can start to implement. So take notes of the things that you wrote down in those 4 pillars. And we're going to go into a little bit more depth on some practical steps that you can take tomorrow, 7 Eastern, right back here at phdsynergy.com or on YouTube. But with that, we'll catch you next time.